Future may run on hydrogen fuel. One such car was driven onto Capitol Hill today by an environmental group. The World Resources Institute wants hydrogen to get more attention in the president's clean air proposal. The group says hydrogen gas doesn't cause as much pollution as conventional fuels. But in this car, it doesn't get as much mileage either. About 75 miles per tank.
Then it says you have complied with the laws of the land. And so it's not what I say, it's what the international scientific community says that I have, okay? And here's some of the examples of some of the patents. Of course, you've got patents, right?
No, we don't have any.
Huh?
I don't think we have any.
Well,
We've had some of the expired.
here's some of the patents that's already gone into issuance. And whenever you comply with the laws of the land, you get your little gold seals and all that stuff. Well, then it says you own control that technology, both internationally, for a period of 17 plus years. And if you're smart enough, doing it in residence. All right, now once we found out the electrical polarization process, that we can split the water molecule economically, the next was to do the research to reduce the size of the unit down, smaller and smaller and smaller, but yet get higher gas. So we went to the development of the resonant cavity technology. And the resonant cavity technology, now we raise the voltage up point and it goes into the liquid to the gas ionization state. What it means is that you restrict the amp flow, and as you increase voltage potential still further, you're starting to pluck electrons from the atoms, which now the atoms having missing electrons will take on electrical charges. And even the electrons that are now being liberated from the process can now be interacting with the pulse frequency going into the resonant cavity. So what we're doing is now superimposing a physical impact on the resonant cavity technology, and that aids us in the ability to produce the hydrogen gas even at faster yields. And we saw a lot of very interesting things that took place, that once you adjust the voltage in reference to its pulse frequency, we would hit resonance, would start to produce hydrogen gas at an astronomical rate. Now we found out that once you hit resonance, you could allow pulse frequency to continue for a period of 5 seconds, as an example, and shut off the voltage field, and gas was being generated for 94 seconds. So in essence, what was happening by electrically charging the water bath and hit into resonance, when you divide 5 seconds into 94 seconds, then we were generating hydrogen gas 19 times more on the power output stage than the input stage. So what we're doing is we're finding very economical ways to produce the hydrogen gas and at the same time reduce the fuel cell down to a minimal level. Didn't say anything. Second lawyer went in, said, well, at least I could crack the smile. The next lawyer went in and came out, and he was all put out, and he slammed his paperwork on the desk. He says, well, I hope you got something interesting to demonstrate to them. He said, they kind of stopped me short. And so we went in, and I told the Lord, I said, Lord, let them realize what we have and let them come out of their chairs. And within 5 minutes in the presentation, they were out of their chairs. And the one guy ran down and put his hand on the fuel cell. It was a cold process, and he yelled, that's a cold process. Process means you're not consuming a great deal of power. And he looked around and he said, well, that's a cold process. And as a result, that's why they do the patents showing that voltage can absolutely disassociate the water field. Now, hydrogen gas. Now we know stoichiometrics, but we don't know what you're talking about adjusting the burn of hydrogen gas. I said, we have a flash tube here, and you fill this up with hydrogen and ambient gases, and you ignite it at one end, then that fuel mixture will burn, and it'll burn down this tube around 325 centimeters per second. If I put natural gas and ambient air in it, then that burns around 47 centimeters per second. So it's quite obvious that if you take the non-combustible gases and add it to mix it with the hydrogen oxygen gases, you now can adjust the burn rate of hydrogen gas to co-equal that of the fossil fuels. So as a result, we got our patents on the ability of bringing hydrogen safer than natural gas. Now, that's why we can take explosive velocity, the fast velocity burn rate of hydrogen from 325 centimeters, and we now can adjust it down to co-equal gasoline, natural gas, plain diesel fuel, or even take it and down to lower burning paper and liquid. Now, we're doing this in the law of economics, right? That was the #1 interfacing technology that gave us the ability to retrofit the fuel cell to any existing energy-consuming device. Now, that means that if you hook it up to a car engine, you won't have to change the design of the engine in order to use hydrogen as the source. Now, here is how do you run an internal combustion engine? As we showed on the videotape, we're running a standard combustion engine without engine change and running it off of hydrogen, and we're not even changing the spark plugs. As an engineer, you would look at the internal combustion engine in 3 ways. Number 1, it's a mechanical drag device, right? Secondly, is it not a pump? It pumps the air in from the carburetor and it shoves the gases out the tailpipe. And thirdly, the internal combustion engine is a manufacturer of non-combustible gases. We're now using the gases that no longer can support the burning process, the exhaust gases, feed them back, we mix it in with an injection system fuel cell. We now can adjust the burn rate of the hydrogen gas to enter the fossil fuel areas, and therefore run a conventional gasoline engine and run off of hydrogen. Will you call me back later? Oh yeah, sure. Move it right ahead. Don't over-engineer now. You'll probably about the latter part of September going, maybe in October.
Yeah, I'll believe you.
That's generally when I'll
ahead.
find up the news releases.
Get close.
Okay. Thanks for your call. Bye-bye. Where's that other unit at? Yeah, we need to fill up these fuel cells.
We'll need about 3 gallon, really. And you know, we ought to get a video with using this unit the first time to start it, you know what I mean? And put the whole thing together in the other one.
Yeah, I'm thinking about trying to come up with a good format.
You call this a fuel cell engine?
Right.
All the other processes in it? This is the basic unit.
This is just a basic, this is the lab units, what we use to go to the patent office with. What
Was
we
it this one you used?
This is the first one.
Like the one you had in there was the second unit of this. If you got the package with this one,
But we'll need about 2 more of
so
those.
you protect that one, eh?
Yeah,
Good baby.
material. You look at that, you're looking at, see the gap in between the tubular structures? About 1/16 of an inch spacing.
Oh.
Now that fuel cell has about 38 hours of operation on it.
Doesn't seem to be affected at all, eh?
No,
Or does the metal wear thinner?
no, that's what I'm saying. You remember yesterday when I said that under lab certification testing, the metal is 0.00, decomposition of the material is 0.0001 per year? It's virtually non-destructible. Matter of fact, when we pulled it apart, you can still see the original markings from the manufacturers on the stainless steel. Now, Jim, you like to
Okay, say when, Stan.
atoms in a water bath, exposed to its field. The stainless steel does not chemically interact. It's totally inert to liberate the hydrogen. Now it's a non-chemical environment using now the physical force of voltage to disassociate the water molecule. So I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to use this very low, and I'm barely going to adjust the voltage up. And I want you to watch I'm just going to start forming the bubbles across the voltage zones. Murphy's Law got into it. Now I'm keeping very close because I want you to see the reaction. I want you to look in here. You see the bubbles forming? All right, now I'm going to keep the power supply exactly constant, and the only thing I'm going to change is the physical parameters of the voltage zones, and I should be able to experience an increase in gas production. Now electrolysis, you could care less where those electrodes are at based on the flow of amps going into the system. Now, using the electric function of water, tell me if you see the gas increasing. Is it increasing? All right, now I'm going to move it back and tell me if it decreases. Therefore, voltage is acting as a physical force onto the water molecule. And I'm keeping it very low so you can see it, because we're not consuming any appreciable electrical energy in the process. Voltage is a non-consumed force, all right? The only, when this thing would become cherry red hot. Now if you try to sock in 2,500 and 3,500 amps into voltage zones 1/16 of an inch across, I will assure you that thing would melt down, would it not? All right. Even if I put 100 amps or 200 amps into this system, the spacing between those plates, it would arc out. Right? All right. Now, what I'm going to have Charlie do, as I mentioned, it's deregulated. I'm using a pulse voltage frequency generator, and I'm now going to Charlie turn it on, and let's see really how much energy does it really take to split water molecule.
It will turn on, will start slow, and you can watch the amps and the volts, but it's harder to start a lot slow.
Watch the bubbles here. Now this is ordinary natural water.
Okay, now they're starting.
All right, see the bubble? Now what's voltage? What's your amp? It actually is starting. You can see the water molecule in the middle of the range, just like I showed you right on this slide. Okay.
Now watch this now, and I'll take that about
Let's see if you can go ahead and increase the rate that the hydrogen gas is being generated. Now when General Motors come down here, when I hear you got a natural water generator on the car down the road, I said, I can see I can produce 7 pounds of hydrogen gas per minute. Would you prefer we can run a car down the road? I said, absolutely. We're just going out there to show you. I want you to put your hands on there and tell me what's still cold or hot. All right. I want you to look at the needle here. Oh, how much volt? It's around volt. That's around 2 amps, so it's about 10 watts per hour. Now, I want you to watch this gauge. This gauge is in pounds of pressure. It is not an ounce of pressure. Okay? I want you to watch the movement of the needle. Okay? We're going to demonstrate to you control element. We're going to go to a very low area where voltage is reflected. All right, now, I want to have him slow down the turn down the voltage and tell me it goes down. The needle rate slow down. It's moving slower. It's moving, yeah, but it's moving at a slower rate, all right? All right, now look at the needle and tell me if it's still moving at a constant rate. Okay. Well, it's just moving at a constant rate. All right, put your hands on it and tell me if it's still cold or hot. How many pounds of hydrogen are right now? We're ready to take some. All right, let's say there's a thermostat on your house. The needle's not. Look at what you need. Watch the needle now. Anyhow, start. I'm going to turn it on right now. Is it empty? Now watch it again. Turn it off again. Watch it. Stop it. Is it instantaneous response? All right, when you talk about the runaway, the answer is no. Stop. Now watch how fast it starts. Let me turn it on right now. Is it instantaneous? All right, now electrolysis process is a chemical interreaction process. And you cannot have an instantaneous response like that. It would take an extremely long period of time in order to try to get the spark plug in the oil gas. Now, when you burn hydrogen,